For more than 2,000 years, this remarkable little weed has been used to enhance the prowess of men and women between the sheets. And although it might have all started with a few frisky goats, horny goatweed has since become the treatment of choice for almost every vital human organ inside the body, too. Join us as we take a look at what might just be one of the most promising herbs in the medical field we've ever covered on this channel. And as always, we start at the very beginning. Around 2,000 years ago, a goat herder noticed that after his flock ate from a particular low-growing bush, the bucks became overly active at knocking hooves with the does. He brought his findings to the legendary physician Dao Hongjing. After his own testing, Hongjing confirmed the herder's findings and named the plant Yin Yang Wu, which loosely translates to promiscuous goat plant, and thus traditional Chinese medicine found its way into Asian culture. And yes, it was mostly used to treat erectile dysfunction in men, and there are some notes of women using it to enhance libido too. History has no shortage of aphrodisiacs: rhino horn, mustard, raw oysters, roasted ants, lizard skin, and cobra blood. Humans will try just about anything to keep their carnal activities alive and well. But unlike the previously mentioned options, horny goatweed actually has documented positive effects on dysfunction and all-around libido. But it wasn't just used as a salacious supplement. The Humpty herb also served to treat Asia's heart, liver, and kidney ailments. It was frequently used for problems related to circulation and as a general pick-me-up after recovering from a harsh illness. According to ancient texts, horny goatweed was hailed as a wonder herb. Farmers relied on it for animal fodder because it grew so prolifically and to encourage their flock to mate more frequently. It was selectively fed to livestock that were showing signs of infertility or those that were unable to produce healthy and living offspring. And modern science has been testing these claims for almost a century. If there's one thing that human beings can be counted on, it's that we are willing to throw hundreds of millions of dollars at anything that involves helping us stay youthful for longer, and all things carnal. Simply put, humans want to live longer, and we want to have fun while we're living. Just take a look at Viagra. It is one of the most extensively researched drugs on the market today, and it grosses more than $500 million a year. So obviously, modern medicine didn't take long to take a look at another one of nature's most famous aphrodisiacs. Horny goatweed has passed the scrutiny of the most brilliant minds of our day. It's been proven to do so much more than just increase the virility of men's phallic functions. They noted that the plant contained high levels of icariin. Icariin is so incredibly beneficial that we could devote an entire video just to its vast applications, chemical composition, and the endless amount of study that has been put into it. But we'll keep to the summed-up version for this round. Icariin is one of the main components of Viagra. It increases testosterone levels in both sexes. Despite our misconception that it's strictly a male hormone, women actually need testosterone too. It's vital to both genders' sex drives and hormonal development. Icariin increases blood flow throughout the body, lending credence to its prescription as a blood pressure regulator and a heart stimulant. In a study published in 2017, they concluded that icariin found in goatweed possesses antioxidant, anti-inflammatory, and lipid-modulating effects. These properties have promising outcomes in the treatment of atherosclerosis and blood pressure regulation in the future. More studies into cholesterol showed that feeding affected rabbits the raw plant, goatweed significantly decreased their LDL cholesterol levels. LDL cholesterol is a bad kind of fatty buildup in and around the heart valves and arteries. It's an especially difficult condition to treat, even with the most targeted chemical aids and proper dietary regulations. This circulatory effect, combined with the antioxidants found in goatweed, helps weakened and strained liver and kidneys to flush out toxins more effectively. Icarian helps break down the calcium plaque formation in brain tissue that is caused by Alzheimer's disease. It's by no means a cure for the debilitating condition that affects so many of our loved ones across the world, but it is looking like a very real option to manage the condition more effectively in the future. Icarian has an obvious effect on hormonal levels, and there is some interest in treating hormonal fluctuations and hot flashes in menopausal women, and some dabbling has been done in treating osteoporosis of the bone. But these studies are still in their infancy stages, so there isn't much available information just yet. But we do know that it was used to treat broken and weak bones and menopause in ancient China. But what might be the most exciting discovery to date is that of goatweed's positive outcomes on certain types of cancers, especially very aggressive strains like gallbladder cancer and hepatocellular carcinoma. And given how many studies are currently ongoing, and how many of these discoveries have happened in just the last 15 years or so, we can't wait to see where horny goatweed is going to go in the future. Right now, goatweed has surpassed lab trials and has moved on to animal and human testing specifically surrounding its applications to cholesterol, cancer, and kidney disease. Pretty soon, horny goatweed will no longer be just another strange moniker that instigates a chuckle. It will be in our pharmacies and hospitals, saving lives, and probably a few marriages along the way. By far, the most popular way to find and consume horny goatweed is by buying it in the form of essential oils and supplements. You can also find the dried leaves at online stores or at your local Asian market. But goatweed is notorious for being counterfeited, especially from unrestricted online stores. Since it's in such high demand, vendors swap out other dried leaves from edible plants like radishes and turnips. Once the leaves are dried, it's hard to tell the difference between a fake and the real deal. So make sure you do your homework before purchasing goatweed online. Only the leaves are used in their fresh or dried form. The roots and flowers do contain the valuable Icarian too, but not nearly as potently as it does in the leaves. For tea, a tablespoon of dried leaves or 2 tablespoons of fresh leaves will be sufficient to add to a cup of boiling water. After letting it steep for about 10 minutes, it should be ready to drink. Letting leaves rest in an alcoholic tincture is a great option that stores well in your pantry. No matter what the size of the jar or container you use, you'll need to fill it with 1/4 of dried leaves or halfway with fresh leaves. Then fill your jar the rest of the way with your preferred alcoholic additive. Wines and ciders might be a little tastier than other, stronger spirits, but no matter what your choice of liquor is, the alcohol will pull out everything the leaves contain after about a week of rest. But horny goatweed is really such an easy plant to keep in your garden, so you might want to consider growing it to have a fresh supply at hand at all times. We can refer to it by its proper botanical name, Epimedium. But let's face it, saying horny goatweed will never not be funny. Besides its obvious medicinal value, it is a very fetching addition to any garden. Its spiky and dainty flowers come in shades of pink, purple, yellow, and white, depending on which variant you grow. And even when they are not in bloom, their heart-shaped leaves are still a very attractive ornamental feature. It's a perennial that is pretty adaptable to most conditions. Upper Asia, where it originated from, has cold, snowy winters and a wetter climate. Epimedium won't do well in overly dry or humid climates, but it certainly can thrive if you take the precaution to place it in shady and well-watered areas. In nature, they like to grow around the trunks of larger trees or under rocky overhangs where they can find the most shade. They can be grown from seed, but naturally they usually spread when grazing animals spread their twigs and shards of their roots as they eat them. They'll sprout roots from even the smallest fragments and take to the ground with very little effort. All they need is enough water. Thankfully, chances of them spreading too quickly like other ground coverage is minimal. As soon as they get too much sun, they die off and retreat to their more shaded shelters. They do fine in pots, and require only seasonal soil enrichment from a general compost or potting mix, and they will appreciate a good trim before the winter sets in so that they can have more room to spread out again when the spring comes. So tell us, were you aware that horny goatweed had any other benefits besides what its name implied? And are you as excited as we are about the future in medicine for this amusingly named herb? We'd love to hear your thoughts on this ancient and promising shrub in the comments below. Don't forget to hit that like button and share this with other plant lovers. Tune in next time as we continue our journey through the fascinating world of medicinal herbs. Until then, stay curious and embrace the power of nature's pharmacy. Disclaimer: I am not a medical doctor. If you are on chronic medication, pregnant, or suffering from any health condition, please consult a medical professional. I am here to relay my own thoughts and opinions. My videos are entirely based on my own research and experiences.